Hello and welcome back. This is Kristen. I'm going to do a brief video because I've had two instances now of buying what's known as push pin ornaments, and some people I'm going to tell you, for many years kind of wrinkled up my nose. And even if they're not necessarily something I want to have in my wheelhouse for my decorations, I think we can all just appreciate the amount of work that went into these. And I'm going to tell you that when I started doing some research for an estate sale last weekend, several episodes back at this point, but it was just last weekend, I was surprised at the price that some people will be willing to pay, but it is vintage and they are handmade. So let me show you what I was able to get today. What I was looking at is, it seems to be the more ornate that they were, the higher the value. I got some last weekend that were kind of figural, and I do believe I saw at least one in here that was like that I'll point out to you. Those seem to be middle of the road. And then the bottom of the road was the stuff that was like not very ornately done. Some of the ones last weekend looked like they were probably like kindergarten projects, really, truthfully. So anyway, let's get to what I found today. I found 3 whole shoved bags of these push pin ornaments. So I'm going to tell you, like, this one is very big. It's not very big, but it's like probably closer to like a 3.5 to 4 inch one. And it was the satin balls, and this like lime green is one that I know was never very, it wasn't very, I don't want to say popular, but it wasn't readily as available. But you can tell it's whatever they could find back in the day when they made these things that they could use to make these. Between, like, this here looks like it may have been something you would have used like on an envelope. It's all like in the stylization of the person making them. You know, so they didn't necessarily just use sequins, they used beads, they used anything that they basically had in their local regions and how they could be decorative and thinking about it. I mean, at the bottom of this is kind of like a flower design to it. Like I said, I love what they did up here at the top. So I would say this is probably going to be one of the more desirable ones in the pricing on the platform, because like I said, there's a lot of technique that went into that stylization. Here is another one. I have to really appreciate whoever was the artist that put this together. Now, if you look closely, the white is actually still styrofoam, but I don't think the person, you know, like, look, anybody looking at that says, oh, that's still styrofoam. So this person took just like a felt, the red felt, they took like this lace trimmings, and I mean, these look like almost, they're like, what are they, like the nails that they use in, especially like on leather and stuff, the brass tack nails kind of things. I mean, it's just different sequins that they put in there. I don't even know what they used to make the base of this. It actually has, I don't know if you can tell, it has like teeth, like prongs on the back of it. So this person really did a phenomenal job. Like I said, these are all one of a kinds, because it's whatever came out of the imagination of the people who kind of put these together. I'm still like, wow. I'm still like, wow. So like, here's one that they took like the red ball and used some silver, like holly leaves. Look how they used the pearls and that. I love what they did down here where they kind of, you know, used beads upon beads and made it almost like a hat pin. There's little stars in there. So, like I said, oh, look what they did with the moon at the top. So it's really, they're just very unique. Oh, look at this here where they did this like finial at the top. I love how they did this. This hanger is just, it's like a braided trim. So I expect these bags of ornaments are going to go for quite a bit of money. This one is not, okay, so I'm digging through because, like I said, not all this was that. This is This was something they bought, but it's still very ornate. This is like a, feels like almost a resin. So I'm gonna have to put that aside because like I said, I'm trying to keep all what is known as the pushpin ornaments together. Wow, look at this one. This was a off-white, or maybe it turned off-white satin ball, and then they used these, I don't even know what they were, some kind of like a, almost like a drop. And again, I don't know what these were, if they sold these. It's almost like a miniature doily of some sort. And you may not be able to tell, but there's a lot of little pins in this to hold them on. And there's some of the crystals along the top. So these are where they're using the term push pin. If you look in here, where do I get it? Here we go. These are like from jewelry making. So even in here, there's a few different ones in here. So it's very much just how creative the person could be. I had seen a lot of these growing up where they basically took the styrofoam shape and they just covered it with a bead. You know, they did the push pin, a bead, and then the sequins. And this time they used a pearl in there, and that's how they created that. That I'm very used to seeing from my youth and growing up. This is what I meant by figural, and she did here's another one. She did a phenomenal job in how she covered that, where she used the gold braiding along the base and up here. I love what she did with the holly on the top. So I had some that were figures, that was like a Santa figure and stuff that I have plans to list. And she accented it with some of this stuff because, again, if you look very closely, there is, I'm trying to show, there is the push pin, a clear bead, and then the sequin in there. So that's how they get those to kind of stay on there. She has quite a few in this style, where she did, it's almost like a round disc, and she covered them. Sometimes I've even seen it where they have like the real wide sequin and then they do a smaller sequin inside. So she did quite a few in this style where she's got this almost like it's like a flower petal kind of, or like center of a flower. I don't know if that's what they were supposed to be, but she did like a braided trimming and she made some accents with pearls. And then this is where I'm saying she's showing like, this must have been a commercial hook that she was able to find. So I do have several of those that will show up in the various bags. This was another representation where they did, and remember these were done a lot of times during the bicentennial years, so you see a lot of red, white, and blue show up. I don't know if that was on purpose or if this was just the stylization. So they didn't really do, at least when I was growing up, everything was very multicolored. Nothing was very like all white or you know, where we go into this like having the red tree or the pink tree. Like they're really, I want to say it wasn't until maybe about the 90s that I started to notice theme trees were coming out and all. It was just more whatever creativity you could come up with, homemade or whatever. Here's one where she did the one side blue and pink and the other side is just the pink. Like I said, everything was very multicolored back when I was growing up. You know, we had those big C7 lights or whatever they called them. And this was very pretty. Pastels weren't really kind of coming around back then. It was very the primary colors. So I think this is going to be very desirable because, like I said, to find the light colors, look what she did on the bottom. Very pretty. But you can see they're just kind of taking whatever is stuff they're finding in the stores. This is not, that has to go with the other one. Oh, okay. Oh, and I started to pull this out. Again, look at what she did for the centers on these, where she took those like rhinestone, flat-backed rhinestones and kind of made them into a star. I don't know, in my area we had a store known as AC Moore that has since gone out of business, but probably in about the late 80s, 90s, they started selling kits where the kit would include various different things. Oh, here's another one of those same ones. Oh, this one is different. So I don't know, maybe she got these out of a kit. What made her come up with these ideas? Look how beautiful it is done as a wreath. You can see that in there. I'm telling you, I used to do BOLO sewing kits, and finding like the extra type of sequin stuff wasn't always easy. And then the rest of this bag, these are almost feeling like shatterproof types of ornaments of Santa, so nothing exciting on that regard, especially since we're going to talk about push pin ornaments. So that was the second bag, and I think there's some real good beauties in there for just, like I said, very unique, very colorful, and they're in great condition, because that's part of the problem. Is some of the people would need to use, you would want to use a little bit of glue to make sure that that didn't come out, the push pin. I didn't make very many of these because honestly, like, my generation was just starting to come, I was born in 1970, it was just starting to come out of this, being a handicraft that people would do. This one, I'm trying to pick up, you can see on this one, she has some kind of gold backer that was in there. Like I said, this is like almost like a foil paper, and they accent on top of that with these rhinestones and stuff. I don't know, like I said, if this was their unique, whoever did these, this was a unique creation to them, or if this was a kit, because like I said, they were starting to get into selling a kit where everything was included and you could just make on top of that. But this, this green is almost like a bayberry green. Wasn't very big back then. It used to be that more deeper green. This one is very ornate. This is, I don't know if the spacing on some of these seem to be like the pinks. I don't know if they're supposed to be that gap or if I'm missing one in there, because they don't seem to be a hole. And this does have in the backing of it, this was a satin ball that they did, but very, seems very bright, but you know what, it it's kind of that error. Oh, look at this one. This one is another one with the green holly leaves on it. Very, very pretty. Here is another one, and they're all kind of getting stuck in here now. This one is very, oh, I'm trying to make sure things don't get, you know, these hangers don't get stuck on one another. This one's leading me to believe I'm missing something here, but very beautiful. Yeah, I think there was something, and I don't think this hanger was supposed to be where it is. I think there's something missing, and that was probably supposed to be a bow in front of it. But oh my god, here we go with another hanger. This is why you don't like to leave hangers and stuff. But again, there's more of something that is in there with the paper that's behind it, and then they added the stuff on top. Look at this down here. This is very ornate. I'm gonna have to see if there's something more in the bag, truthfully. I did find that there is another boot. Now this one, I think they reversed, because I think the other one had the navy blue and then the like platinum-y color on the top. And again, they did those. I think these came out so nice. And you can see the bottom is just that styrofoam. So, and then the rest of this bag seems to be just the shatterproof ornaments, which are really not that exciting. And like I said, I was gonna try and get them out. So that is my push pin ornaments. I hope it gives you an idea, if you're out and about, to take a look for things like this. Like I said, these were kind of thrown on the grass. I showed them in my shopping that I went to today for the citywide yard sale that I had. And these were thrown, and there was one more bag on the ground that was thrown, and that one had like all, there was one or two of these push pins in there, and so I kind of made it so all the push pin ones were together. So I hope that explains what a push pin ornament is. there's still these satin balls and stuff. People will still try and make them. I mean, it's still like, you know, something that people do. But these are, you know, definitely, I can tell from they're aged. The sequins are slightly, I don't know if you want to say faded, but they just get a certain patina to them. And I'm really looking forward to bringing these out to the new, to the marketplace to get to new homes. And I think there's such lovely, lovely handiwork in there. So if you find these, do some comps, do some lookups for yourself. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how many times you will be able to find those when you're out and be able to turn them for a profit. So I'm going to say bye for now. I hope you enjoyed looking at these with me, and I hope this gives you a little bit more of an education of it. If I can, I will be trying to put some comps up on the screen as I'm showing these out, because like I said, when I very briefly did my research, it seemed like I could get between, depending on the ornateness of it and the uniqueness of them, between $20 and $30 per ball for these more ornate ones. The figural ones seem to be going between 12 and 20. And like I said, the ones that are very basic looking were not really even like $2-3 to like 10 maybe. So more ornate is what you want. Hope that helps. I'll catch you in the next one. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this, or if I'm helping you with learning more about the Christmas sphere of shopping and the genre. And leave me some comments. I mean, have you been making these? Have you inherited some? Have you had experience with it? Did I say anything inappropriate? Like maybe I was misinformed on what I was thinking I was looking at, because again, I'm still learning all of this as well. I know enough to pick them up. I don't know enough yet. I'm gonna have to do my research before like listing them to make sure I am appropriate in pricing and stuff. So I'm gonna say bye for now. Please, if you can, do me the favor and hit the subscribe button down below. It'll help me grow this channel, but it'll also bring my future videos to your feed so that we can both have this communication back and forth. I'd love to hear from you. And I'm gonna say bye, but I'll catch you in the next one.